For the first time, we are hearing from Sarasota's sheriff following a judge ruling that the local paper could publish the names of 2 deputies involved in a deadly shooting. The sheriff attempted to use Marsy's law, a law meant to protect victims, to conceal the names of his deputies. 10 Tampa Bay's Aduria Chumba breaks down this case and how this ruling could impact the sometimes controversial Marsy's law.
First, we must separate the issues. This case is not about Deputy Stephanie Graham's actions on April 1st. In fact, the state attorney's office cleared her of any wrongdoing. But the Sarasota sheriff's position is that Graham's name is still protected under Marsy's law from being published, even though it was mistakenly released into public record. The judge disagreed.
This is the only case I'm aware of that has resolved the issue. If there is an inadvertent release of the information, or if there's some other journalistic method by which you get the information, not as a result of the victimization of the officer, is that allowed? And the judge has ruled that it is allowed.
A judge dissolved a temporary emergency injunction preventing the Herald Tribune from naming 2 deputies, saying it was unconstitutional because the state attorney's office had already inadvertently released their identities. The paper was trying to write about the shooting death of 65-year-old black man Jeremiah Evans, which had previously drawn the attention of the NAACP. Both internal and external investigations determined the 24-year veteran deputy Stephanie Graham, one of 3 carrying out the eviction, was justified in firing the fatal shot after Evans lunged forward with a knife.
In this scenario, both of them were in a small apartment in close proximity within a matter of feet of a gentleman who stood up and extended his arm with a knife in his hand. So they did qualify as victims of aggravated assault.
Has this created an opportunity to review your policy in regards to how you carry out evictions? Because people are saying that an eviction should not lead to the death of anyone.
No, it shouldn't, but you would hope that somebody wouldn't pull a knife and assault an officer on an eviction. Yes, we look at all of these cases after the fact. We went in there with multiple officers. We got a key. We announced ourselves. I don't know, in looking at it, that I could tell you that we would do anything different.
The Florida Supreme Court will soon hear whether Marsy's law, which protects the identities of crime victims, applies to working law enforcement officers. In Sarasota, Aduria Chumba, 10 Tampa Bay.